Give it up for Josh Johnson!
I don't know. Yeah, maybe y'all saw. Maybe you didn't see. Maybe I mean, people can only watch so much news, you know. But y'all saw the president at the UN. This is. I didn't see everything as it was happening. I heard about some stuff later, right? So then I got a text message from my friend. They were like, "Oh, did you see what happened at the UN?" I'm like, "No, I didn't see what happened at the UN." And they explained to me that, you know, he was getting on escalator, and then the escalator stopped. Now, I thought at the time, I thought it was going very differently. I thought the escalator stopped on like a down escalator. That would have been a big deal. Imagine you on escalator. You have belief. You get on a down escalator, you're like, all right, it's gonna take me where I need to go. No need for a seatbelt. If that thing just stops, the momentum, whoa! Now the president's falling down the steps. So I thought that's what happened. Then I watched the video and I saw that he just walked up to the escalator, stepped on the escalator, and the escalator broke. And you saw him stand at the bottom of the escalator like, what? And Melania didn't miss a beat. She just started walking up the escalator. And so there were people that were like, this was sabotage. UN needs to be investigated. Somebody needs to be arrested, right? But then he made it up the escalator / stairs. And he went to speak to the UN. Went to speech for the whole of the UN. He's standing here, UN, over there. And as soon as he goes to start, the teleprompter broke. We know the teleprompter broke because he told us. As soon as he walked up, he told us, teleprompter broke. First the escalator, teleprompter broke. Nothing here work. Nothing. No, teleprompter. And it's like, look, if you're delivering a speech and it's been, you know, uploaded to teleprompter, then teleprompter breaks, like, that is something to be annoyed or caught off guard about. But I'm sitting there watching, like, why do you care that the teleprompter, you're not gonna read it, like you're not. Every speech is off the dome. Every speech you can tell every speech he's over here freestyling every time. Why do you even have a speechwriter? You know the president's speechwriter right now gotta be the easiest job in the world. You just over here typing up chapters from Great Expectations, knowing he's not gonna read it. Knowing he's just gonna go, you know what I mean? He goes off of vibes. What do you care that the teleprompter is broke? You weren't gonna look at it. You might have read the first couple sentences and then been like, you know what? I'm gonna speak from the heart. And so the teleprompter broke it, you know? And so he's like, I guess I'll just have to. Which was also wild because the speech was printed out in front of him. But he was like, no, you want me to turn pages? No. Then proceeds to, you know, give this address to the UN, and Depending on who you talk to. Depending on whose opinion you're listening to, it did not go fantastic. Because the energy of the speech was like the normal energy. It was like rally energy, you know, like talking to his base or something. But this is the UN. They don't live here. Like they're not. Some of the stuff they don't care about. Like you talking to the UN. Everyone's here. He's over here like I inherited a mess and we fixed it and like years ago we were down in the dumps and now we're the hottest country in the world. He keeps saying we're the hottest country in the world and I don't know what that means. I feel like even the UN was like, so what? Climate change? What does it mean, the hottest? This is also wild because, like, you talking to other countries right now. Why are you dunking on them right now? Then, dudes over here, I ended, like, 7 wars. And it's just funny because, like, everybody he talking about is there. So now some of these countries look at each other across the desk like, I don't know. I didn't even, what did I say? Nah, it was incredible. And then there was a weird thing. I think it was Brazil. He was talking about the leader of Brazil and how, like, first of all, this dude also tariffing everybody. So then he was talking about how he doesn't do deals with people he doesn't like, but then he had a good handshake with the leader of Brazil, so maybe they could work something out. Even Brazil had to be like, yo, I don't know. I just saw him in the hallway. Out here trying to be cordial. I don't even know if this is good. Was it good? No, it's phenomenal performance. Truly, I've not seen anything like it. Just over here. I'm sure if you were at the UN, just sitting there, you just sitting there quietly listening, looking over at other countries. There's some countries that had just be chuckling. Like countries that aren't in the mix, you know what I mean? Like if you're not like a key member of BRICS or you're not, you know what I mean? Like if you're not like in the news in that way, you just come, you enjoy the show. You know? Like I imagine maybe Zimbabwe might have been cracking up. They'd be like, that's your friend. That's your friend. But that wasn't the only incredible performance. That wasn't the only press conference. Because they held a press conference. Because they found it. They found it. They nailed it down. They found the cause. That's what they said. Gathered everybody together. Got the press conference going on. Looked like it was in the Oval Office. Yeah. And they were going to talk about the causes that they had found, the root cause of autism. This is what they said. And so, they walk in and you had Dr. Oz. Dr. Osmosis himself. You know Dr. Ozymandias. Like, Dr. Oz is standing there. And like, why? How did this happen? If we are just gonna start putting people from TV in real, like, government position, in real medical field, can we at least get somebody from, like, Grey's Anatomy or something? You know what I mean? Like, if we are already not being serious, can we not be serious better? Who is checking for Dr. Oz besides Oprah? Who is? He's standing there, doesn't even really look that healthy himself. This man's advice so far has been actually insane. They've done interviews with him. He's, spoken to the public. Like, what would you suggest for Americans? The man's out here. If you want to, if you don't, look. If you don't want to be sick, be healthy. I wish I was joking. I would, like, I can barely take credit for that one. I changed like 2 words. So you got Dr. Oz from TV on one side. And then you have y'all know who he is. And then you have RFK Jr. on the other side, looking odder than usual. If y'all saw it, you know what I'm talking about. RFK Jr. showed up. I don't know what's happening. Because it wasn't like a tan. Like, he looked like a bruised blueberry. Like, he looked wild, and nobody addressing it. Nobody saying anything. The president over here just trying to not use his peripheral vision. RFK Jr. is white. No, that is a white man. He's white. He's a white guy. But that's the first time I've ever seen a white guy and been like, he is colored. Like that. Yo, my man, what is happening? He just stand there like he's been holding his breath for 26 years. This is very bad. And then, I don't know who told him. I imagine it could have been somebody, higher up, but it could even just been an aide that told the president, okay, you're going to give this press conference, you're going to talk about links to autism, and what you need to do, this is very important, for legal, this is very important for a lot of reasons, what you need to do is say the name of the drug. Then you can go on and say the brand name. But you need to say the name of the drug because the drug is what we're saying is the link, not one particular brand. So there are other like store brands that are this drug. You need to say the drug. Say the drug. You have to say the drug. Okay? Say the drug. And I'm sure he attacked it with that regular, bravado. I'm gonna say it, whatever. Get out of here. Let me work. Let me get in the zone, all right? I got you in my ear. I got him over here being purple. Let me work. Man, it goes up, starts the speech. It's rolling. It's rolling with it. And then he hit a more than 8-letter word. And then the commander-in-chief, leader of the free world, in real time, in front of us, the American public, technically the whole world, because the internet, our leader in front of the nation, at a press conference they called. Our leader in real time sounded it out. I try really hard. No matter who somebody is, no matter the background, no matter the situation, really treat people like equals, not like look at people a certain type of way. We all struggle. We all have our different strengths and weaknesses and everything. But I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it. If you are 80 and you haven't attacked a word before, maybe it's just not a word you ever going to get. Like if you... It's late. It's late for him to be sounding out new words. Because the word, you could see, he could see the word coming up. And sounded it out confidently, too. Just over here, and it's not like it was in the mic. You couldn't hear it into the mic, but you could tell Dr. Oz was standing there trying to do hard ventriloquism. Just... Dr. Oz was standing there like, just open your mouth, let me do it. Just... Dr. Oz was fighting to just, you could see him. See him in a fence. I see him in a fence. I said, Tom, I see the Trump. See him, man. I knew when he looked around, we were cooked. Like I knew it. When that man looked up from the paper, I was like, no, stay on it, stay on it. Stay with it, you almost got it. I said, Tom, I see him, I see him, Tylenol, and like that. That is also wild too. Gave us the full, what is it, Porky Pig? Gave us the full, Tylenol. And he was hitting those T's, that Tylenol, extra hard. He was getting his payback with those T's. Tylenol, don't take that Tylenol. When y'all see Tylenol, because it was rough. It was rough. It was like you've been in third grade before. You remember when a teacher, I didn't even know this at the time, but it was basically when a teacher had like a hangover, and so then the teacher would just make y'all read the book to each other. At the time, I really thought it was about learning, and now that I'm grown enough to have friends that are teachers, I'm like, no, you had a bender. That's what this is. Don't try to put this off on the students. You seeing double right now. And so it would be, your turn would be coming up. And you would do a thing. Somebody would be reading over here, and you start counting people and counting paragraphs. And then you read ahead a little bit so that when it's your time to read your paragraph, you're reading your paragraph all fast and everything. People can't even retain the information. Then, there'd always be that one kid. There'd be that one kid where it's like, when you get to his paragraph, that's going to last till the end of class. So, you literally count your paragraph till you have to read, and then you count paragraphs, and you like, the bell gonna ring here. Sometimes to be a kid, everybody learns differently. We all have different abilities, and you do your best to be as patient as possible. I remember, I had one kid in my class that we would do that, and then his paragraph be coming up, and as soon as his paragraph start, everybody's like, and then he would start, and he would be sounding it out, and then hit the word, and then sounding it out. Everybody learns at a different pace. Sounding it out, hit the word. Sound it out, hit the word. Sometimes he'd even go back, sound it out, hit the word, say the last 3 words together. He's learning. We're all learning. Everybody moves in their own time. But sometimes, I'll be honest with you, I was a kid too. I wasn't always patient. Sometimes he'd be sitting there and be like, and I'd be like, it's A. You already hit it. It's A. There's nothing left to do. It's A. It is A. You did it. High five. You did it. It's A. It's only A. And then you grow up and you mature and you realize that everybody's good at stuff. People aren't as good at stuff and everything. Because I'll tell you what, I could read, when I was a kid, I could read, very good at reading. My math wasn't great. So then when it came to math, it was me who was like a little bit behind all the time, especially when we got to like algebra. Because I could factor a little bit. I understood denominators and stuff like that. Like I felt like I was keeping up and everything. But when we hit algebra, all of a sudden the tables were turned. This is why you have to be as patient with people as you want them to be with you. Because I'm sitting there. And for the first time, there's letters. There's letters in the math problem, but I'm sitting over here like, and then he was sitting there like, it's 4. And so, he's over there. He went ahead and dunked on that acetaminophen, and then went ahead and started saying Tylenol, started describing to the people things that were not on the paper in front of him. Which is why you definitely shouldn't be upset when the teleprompter doesn't work. You know is what you're gonna do. This man was just throwing out all types of wild claims. This dude was like, hey, look, The Amish? The Amish don't have any autism. And a couple times in this press conference, he would say something, then turn to somebody and be like, is that true? My man, no, it's all on the paper. They put it all on the paper. You had RFK Jr. turn from purple to red. Because then he just started going off on like vaccines in general, you know, and just started saying like, look, you know, it's too much. It's too much. And he's not the first person, he's not the only person to be saying that. It's too much at one time. You know, you got those beautiful babies and you shooting them up with 80 shots of liquid. The thing that stuck out to me about the liquid thing is that you could tell he wanted to say juice. You could tell he's like, they put too much juice in them babies. Nobody need all that vaccine juice. No, it was truly wild. And then it was over. And then it was over. I can't imagine what it must have been like to be on the board of Tylenol. If you're on the board of Tylenol watching this press conference, you over here probably on a whole roller coaster of emotions. Like, at first you'd be sweating because they had let it slip several times that this is basically what the topic was going to be and what was going to be said. It had been like, you know, pieced out, little flavor, little sprinkle here and there for the media all the way up until that press conference, right? But then, when they actually said it, I'm sure Tylenol was stressing when they said this is what the press conference was going to be about. This is what they were going to talk about. You work at Tylenol, you sitting there, edge of your seat. And then he goes to say the name of the drug, and you're probably like, this might not be that bad for us, honestly. Like, he almost said a cinnamon. We might be in the clear here. All we gotta do is come out with a label, no cinnamon in our product. We'll be fine. And then he says your brand name. Then he says your brand name over and over again. And now you're like, that's not good. That one came out perfectly. And then he talks about the Amish, and you're like, I guess if people watch the whole thing, they'll be confused enough to not know if they should take it or not. Because my thing is, look, why have such an unforced error? You know what I mean? Go ahead. You already got Caroline Levitt talking to the media all the time. Get her out there to start the thing. Get her to say the name of the drug and then walk off. Then you can go and just go off your vibes and everything. You had two people on either side of you that probably say the name of the drug all the time. Well, don't let him, but let Dr. Oz say it. Let him earn his keep. You know, he over here supposed to be a doctor, got the shortest name I've ever seen. Because I do my best to be up on the news, but I don't always want to talk about, you know, politics and stuff. Sometimes there's stuff that happens that has nothing to do with anything political, and it just warms your heart to see it. You'll see a news story that captivates you, and it doesn't take you into like any sort of polarized position, you know? Like I saw this South Carolina teacher that got arrested got arrested for using fart spray on the students as a punishment. Look, I'm not a teacher. I come from like a family of teachers, people that work in education. And like kids have always and will always drive adults insane. It's like part of the bargain that we have. It's part of the truce, you know? It's like y'all won't do a Lord of the Flies. Y'all just be bad in school. And we'll pay the bills. And look, I can't imagine what it's like to teach, especially now. You have kids who genuinely, because of like lockdown and COVID and stuff like that, missed out on little pieces. You have adults now who missed out on like a full college experience. You also have little kids who missed out on having their friends over and, being able to socialize at a very specific point in their life. So everybody's been like knocked off their kilter a little bit by COVID and by lockdown, not being able to just be with each other. That's just, a fact. And because of how school was going in that time, you have people who are really behind because they didn't have that special attention. You had to do school on Zoom with a bunch of other students, and maybe a kid needed help and they couldn't get it immediately, not in the way you can get it when you're present, I can't imagine what it would be like right now to be in school, sitting there, trying to do my algebra like zzz, 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 zzz. And so then the kids come back to school and, some of them are excited to see their friends. Some of them are still trying to learn how to socialize. Some of them, maybe aren't as affected as others. But kids will be kids. Kids will be loud. They won't listen, all that stuff. And then what do you do if you're a teacher? You got teachers out here fighting for their lives just to try to teach you some English. You see videos of it all the time, teachers going through it because students don't want to listen, all this stuff. This is the person that's just trying to make sure you know how to spell. So one day, if you make it all the way to the White House and you have to address the nation, you won't be like, sematosis. And so if you're a teacher, you know what I mean? What do you do? Like my teachers used to yell. Teachers yell. It happens. Hey, stop! And you can tell. There's a certain yell, especially when you got like a male teacher. There's a certain yell that you could tell you broke him because his voice cracked. You know what I mean? Like, if he's like, hey, y'all, chill out, right? And he's had enough of it, and maybe you're the first period of the day. You know what I mean? Y'all being a little loud. Hey, listen up, right? Something happened at about 5th period and on, where if you really got him at his wits' end, he'd be like, hey! Can't even help you people. That's how you can tell. That's how you can tell when a teacher really at the edge, when they just start talking to the students like they are society. Like it's like you do your best, You go to a state school to save money because you're not going to make it here. You got a passion for Spanish, so you try to teach it to you knuckleheads. Just truly, teacher ready to cry. Over here, you get that third shut up. Sometimes that third shut up doesn't have any bass behind it. It sounds a little bit, shut up! Leaning against the board. I don't know what to do. And so what do? You know what I mean? Yelling doesn't work. You can't hit them. Somebody came up with a plan. Somebody was like, y'all don't respect me? Okay, y'all don't respect me? You will respect this. Because I've read different reports. Some reports say he was like doing a prank or whatever. Some reports say he was like mad about whatever. But I'm telling you, he could have done it for any amount of reasons. Maybe this dude didn't take his job seriously. Maybe, he was out here just trying to prank for fun. He's somehow like a teacher's assistant, whatever, and still hadn't like grown up. So then he's over here. Ooh, look at you, stinky. Ooh. Ooh, stink butt over here. Ooh. Maybe. But maybe he had enough. You can only take so many spitballs to the back of the neck before you snap. Maybe this dude came in one day and was like, all right, look, I hate that it's come to this. I really do. But please believe me, if you talk all the time or you never talked before, anybody can get it. All right. I'm not going to lose my voice this week because y'all don't want to learn. Anybody can get it. Anybody. I'm going to put it right here. And I'm begging y'all not to test me. As soon as somebody's talking to their friend, he's like, what? He must have been brandishing it. He must have been wielding it because apparently, like, from what I read, like 100 parents complained or something. This dude got arrested, and then I think they said like 2 students went to the hospital or something like that. And I'm sure you over there at interrogation tried to defend yourself. They should have thought about that asthma when they were doing all that talking, all right? How do we know it was a spray? What if it was that talking that caused the asthma attack? Over here, mouth moving 100 miles a minute. I'm trying to teach something. Listening is easy to breathe. Because I wonder how much he must have done it. You know what I mean? Was it just off of anything? Just one little noise? Huh? Or did he wait? Was he like writing on the board, letting the chatter sort of build? And then that's the thing. When you're a kid in class, you always think you're good if you're just not as loud as the loudest person. But that noise rises the entire level of the volume, because now if everybody's talking a little bit, somebody's going to get a little bit more confident, get a little louder. Everybody starts talking a little louder. And as long as they're not as loud as the loud one, now everybody's basically screaming just so they can hear themselves because they're all doing so much talking. And next thing you know, he whips around, hey! Y'all gonna learn today. Because even the school said that he did $55,000 worth of damage. How? It must just be in the walls now. What an incredible day. It's been beautiful outside. It's a real, yeah, no, you can clap. This is big for us because we had a whole ass hurricane this weekend. That was crazy. It was so, New York this is already a dirty place. This is already a disgusting city. This place should never be wet. That
That was unacceptable. Like even when I looked outside, I was like, there's a whole lot of stuff out there right now that should not be getting wet, right? And then I had to run. So I was gonna be late for a spot, so I was running, right? And as I was running, I almost slipped. And if I had fallen on the wet New York pavement, if I had fallen on the somehow warm water, I don't even think I would have not. I think I would have killed myself. I think that was on my last thread. I've been reading the news and I saw this story that's captivated me. It was a British Airways pilot that got fired because they caught him the night before. He had done a bunch of cocaine off of a stripper's titty. I know. Some of y'all are like, awesome. And I read the whole story, and when I got done reading the story, I had lots of questions. First question. Why is the titty part of the story? That feels, you know what I mean? That feels like the least consequential part. The titty did nothing wrong. Like, it was just being there for a good time and everything. And second, is that why they fired him? Did they go to him? They were like, you don't even do it all flat surfaces. You're not responsible with your cocaine. How can we put lives in your hands when you're this reckless with your cocaine? You know when you put it on the titty, you lose at least half. Third question that it brought up for me. Is flying a plane low-key easy? How are pilots this comfortable getting this blazed all the time? It's like, this story happens like once a month. Pilots get caught being drunk and being high or whatever. I have a theory, and this is a conspiracy theory that just I have. And I know I don't expect you to believe what I'm about to say. I just think this, okay? You know, like when you're getting off a flight and you're walking to the front and the pilot is standing there, just standing in front of the cockpit. You know that weird thing they do? It's really awkward. They're like waiting for some sort of attaboy or something. It's like, it's honestly the thirstiest thing I've ever seen. Like they just land the plane and now they're like, oh, did you like that? That was me. That was. Like pilots in front of the cockpit after the flight look like dudes before Tinder. Just like, what do you think of me? So anyway, when you look past them, which I always do, when you look right past them into the cockpit, you can see all these like little switches, all these levers in the cockpit, all these little lights, all these labels. I think, just me, I think none of that shit worked. That's all for show. That's not real. There's a button under their seat that says fly, and they hit that. That's how the plane takes off. Otherwise, I can't believe they're this comfortable being drunk, you know? Because I think it must just be an easy job. Everybody here knows, everyone here knows somebody with an easy job that is high for that job 100% of the time. I got 5 friends that are dog walkers. They're on the moon half the week. All they gotta do is walk. Yep. All right. You don't even need to give them a direction. Just they walk until the dog is tired. These dogs look like tortilla chips, by the way, to them. They're very high. I don't know. Just maybe you don't need to fire them. Did they really need to fire them? You know, ask yourself truly. What if he fly better on cocaine? Did anybody ask that? What if he's a better pilot? What if he does a little cocaine and then he's up there alert, just dodging clouds? Let him be, if it's an easy job, let him be drunk and high. Just knock $200 off my ticket. That's all I ask. I'll take a drunk discount. I don't care. You know? That's the other thing. You know, we narrowly missed it by like 2 hours. There was almost a government shutdown. There was almost a whole government shutdown, which is crazy. We send them to do government. We send these people to do government, and they're so bad doing government, they almost didn't have money for government. And then they still weren't going to be fired. You know what I mean? When there's a government shutdown, they just take a vacation and then come back and work it out. It's insane. And they still get paid. They mismanage this shit so badly that it has to shut down and they still get paid. It's the government workers that don't get paid, you know? Federal workers have to get furloughed. They don't get any pay. FAA up there doing their job, hoping they'll get paid later. TSA doesn't get paid. If you think TSA are some bastards now, imagine them showing up knowing they're not getting paid. If you are not getting paid to do TSA and you still show up, you're doing it for the love of the game, all right? You doing it because you like fucking up people's flights. That's That's the whole real. Oh, this bitch thinks she gonna do Aruba. All right, not today. Not on my watch. All right. I can't stand them. They're the worst. They really are. They always asking me dumbass questions. You know, you'll be in line. They'll grab your bag, be like, why is there so much lotion in this bottle? It's like, that's how it came. Don't act like I'm being weird. That's how much Aveeno CVS sells. I didn't make the lotion. Just throw it away if you need to. They be holding it up like, he's got lotion. Why does he have so much lotion? Questions need to be answered. Oh my God. Can't stand it. You know? That's the thing. That's how you know nobody cares about your safety in reality. Nobody cares. Nobody at the airport cares. Pilot is drunk. And the TSA is just, they say they're looking for bombs, but they're just taking menial shit off you. They're like, why is your comb so sharp? It's like, oh my God. They like trying to check if everything is a bomb, but then they still will let an airport have a Taco Bell. It's like, what about those ass bombs you're sending in the air? That's crazy. It's wild. Because what if something happens, like the Spain plane? Remember the Spain plane? Do y'all know about, okay, in case you don't know about the Spain plane, there was a plane on its way to Spain months ago that had to turn around halfway there because somebody shit the plane, all right? And no, the plane got bathrooms. They weren't like, hold it until you get to Spain. Someone shit the plane, all right? That's crazy. CNN reported it. That's how big of a story it was. They had to divert. People were like, is there a terrorist on? It's like, kinda. Like, it was absolutely crazy. Someone went to college, studied journalism, then got a job at CNN. And at 8 o'clock on my TV, they were like, somebody shit the plane. Somebody. That's why I feel like, just roll with me here for a second. Just stick with me. I feel like the world would be a better place if more women punched people. Because I feel like there's a show that I watch. I was raised by 3 women, so I watched a lot of Lifetime, all right? And there was a show on Lifetime called Snapped. If you haven't heard of it, it's a show about women killing their husbands, all right? And just so you know, there's 28 seasons, so women have been cooking, okay? Anyway, I bring all this up because I watch a lot of Snap because I was raised by these 3 women, always watching Lifetime, so then I'm watching and I'm just looking for all the men's mistakes. I'm just like, all right, good to know. But honestly, a lot of the episodes, if y'all have watched the show, the day they kill the husband, sometimes he didn't do anything that day. You know what I mean? He was just like, hey, babe, where's the... Just a couple punches and this whole shit could have been avoided. You know what I mean? Just letting it build up. It's not good. You know? I'm very worried, too. I worry about the economy more and more every day. Not just because I'm getting older and I finally have started to understand it, like, genuinely. Like, a lot of this does not make sense. Like, a lot of what we're doing. I know we all watch The Big Short and everything, but, like, this is actually bad, what's happening. Like, I know the economy is getting worse and worse because more and more of my Uber drivers have been white. And this is terrifying, all right? Is the economy in shambles? What's happening? Do you know the terror that goes through my heart when I open up Uber and it says Spencer will be there in 3 minutes? I'm like, nuh-uh. Whatever happened to him is happening to me next week, all right? This is very bad. And the worst part about having a white Uber driver is their honesty. You know, because I'm a jovial guy. I get in the car and I'm like, hey, how's it going? You know, white Uber driver tell you the truth. They will. They'll let it all out. You know what I mean? Hey, how's it going? She took everything. Like, oh, yo. I did not know. I remember the first time it happened. I remember I'll never forget my first white Uber driver. Tyler. I got in the car, I was like, hey man, how's it going? He's like, obviously not fucking well. I'm like, okay, whoops, my bad. You all been great, thank you so much. I'm Josh Johnson.
You know him from The Daily Show, you know him from his weekly sets on YouTube. Please make a bunch of noise right now for my friend Josh Johnson!
I think that the gift that someone gives you says a lot about who they think you are. I was given a gift by a friend, and I could tell that he hadn't given gifts to people who weren't like in his immediate family or people he was dating, you know? Because there are some people, they're very good at giving gifts. They have a real talent. It's an impeccable, like uncanny way that they can just tell what you need or what you'd really enjoy, and they get you that exact thing without you even having to say it. And then there are men. And so my buddy got me a gift. Usually when you give someone a gift, they're like family or it's a special occasion. You know you're gonna have to get them a gift, right? It's rare, especially as you get older, to make a friend and become close enough that you need to get them a gift. That's like a barrier that some people just don't. Like if you're a coworker and y'all have been hanging out outside of work and everything, and then Christmas comes around, you're like, you know what? Let me get my coworker, let me get my buddy a Christmas gift. You don't have to. They may not be expecting it, but someone has to like make that jump first. And my friend got me a gift, and you could tell I was the first person outside of like family or a girlfriend that he had to get a gift for, because he got me socks. And when I say socks, understand, I mean a pair. Not like a bunch of socks, not a bunch of different crazies. He got me socks. And I don't know what that says about me. I don't know what that says he thinks about, because I've never been around him barefoot. I've never given the indication that socks is what I'm missing. I've never been in sandals around him. I've never had ashy feet. He's never seen my toenails. There's no reason socks I'd look covered for, you know. And so he got me these socks, and if you're gonna give somebody, as a gift, if you're gonna give somebody socks, just hand them to them. This man put the socks in a bag that was nicer than the socks. The bag was very nice. I thought he got me a watch or something. The bag looked designer. And it had too much tissue paper in it. You could tell he had never got anybody else a gift before, because the level of tissue paper was clearly all the tissue paper that came when he bought tissue paper. It was every sheet of tissue paper was open and then crinkled in the back. It took me a magician's amount of time to pull all the tissue paper out of this bag. And I was pulling so much tissue paper out, I thought he got me nothing. That would have been better and funny. That would have been dope if at the end I pull out tissue paper and he's like, ah, you know what I mean? Instead, I pull out the last piece of tissue paper, and at the bottom, flat, is socks. And I'm not, look, any gift, any action like that, any act of love like that, I genuinely appreciate. And so I said thank you instead of why. I could have said why. I was thinking why. But I said thank you, right? And inspected the socks a little bit, and there was something amiss, because it was two socks. But one sock had an R on it. And one sock had an L on it.
And these, for the final time, weren't novelty socks. They weren't like a cool designer thing. The R and the L looked written. So, you are indicating I need a ton of help. I don't know what I have done or said around this man to be given a sock with an R on it and a sock with an L on it, because when they make socks, they leave it up to you. When all these sock makers make socks, they're like, you know what? I bet he gonna figure it out. You know, I don't even think you could do it wrong unless you put 2 on 1. He gave me a sock with an R and a sock with an L, and had the absolute audacity to smile at me and nod, wait for his thank you like a little kid. It's wedding season, and I've been to a ton of weddings. In my life, I've been to a lot of weddings. A lot of people that I know love people. And I will say, outside, the only like good weddings I've been to are my girlfriend's friends and some of my family. Anytime it's my friend getting married, it is a disaster in one way or another. Weddings already make me nervous. Weddings make me very, very nervous sometimes because I want everything to go well for them. You know, I get nervous for the bride and the groom. Not even that I think that they're gonna mess up, they're gonna do anything. I just want it to be, you spend so much money on a day like this. You want it to be perfect, you know? And it's two people that love each other, that made a moment for everyone that they love to be there together. I want it to go perfect for them. And I've been to plenty of beautiful weddings. Truly amazing weddings. But there are a few aspects of every wedding where things could go wrong. You know, this is where you're starting to spin some plates, make sure everything's on. The ceremony, right? A lot of people do the ceremony different by culture, sometimes just different by personality. So there's a lot of different things in there that you have to be on top of. Do you have a wedding planner? Do you not have a wedding planner? Whatever it is, there's so many details, you know? Vows. There was a... Okay. I think it's beautiful when people write their own vows. I do. I think it's very sweet because it's very easy to go up there, you know, and just do what you're quote unquote supposed to do. I'm not saying there's any right or wrong way to do it, but people clearly put some specific thought into what they wanted to say. And I think that for them, that's amazing, you know, because every relationship is different. Some people need to say some extra stuff on top of the baseline stuff. Just to make sure, okay, but in front of everybody. God. And I've been to plenty of weddings where people write their own vows, and it shows the relationship that they've built over the time that they were together, engaged, everything, and it shows what's important to them specifically in this relationship. But there was one wedding where they wrote their own vows, and she went first, and they were beautiful. They were commitments that she was making in front of everyone to him, things that she was going to do because she knew how important they were to him, and ways that she would nurture him and make him feel like the person that he felt that day, right?
We're going to keep this moment forever. And he also had some beautiful, beautiful vows, commitments that he was making to her, that he wanted her to understand he would keep until the day that he died. The only problem is he wrapped them. This man wrapped the vows and didn't tell anybody he was gonna do it. This man wrapped the vows, and even the pastor was like, I don't rap at all, but I've never rapped in a way that made someone lean away from me. Also, just throwing this out there, if you're gonna rap at all, like if you're gonna rap, like, cause there was no beat. He just went full 8 Mile last verse with it. And if you're gonna go a cappella, just start rapping. This man kicked it off with a Dude, if your vows start with there's just you're in the most singular relationship of human history. Like, and it wasn't just like, it was never start rapping like you about to double dutch. This man over here. You could tell she wanted to be like, what's happening? She is probably watching him just praying it's a stroke. Like, that's... A stroke would at least mean everybody gonna feel bad for you. We can come back later, do this whole thing again. This man over here... double Either do it or don't. Don't. This man rapped his vows and they were a couple pages long. They went on for a while, and when he got done, the pastor was like, so, do you take that and she said no. And to be clear, she didn't just flat out hit him with a no. She went, which is a reasonable response. But I was split on it, because it's like, you're getting married, and if you're gonna marry someone, you should know whether they're gonna impromptu rap or not. Like, that feels like a very particular trait. If that went over your head, y'all have problems as a couple that need to be worked out that are beyond the hip hop. Cause it's like that. It was tough. It was tough. Cause on one hand, I was like, I get it, and on the other, I was like, all right, but like, once you're engaged, I feel like the ick's gotta go out the window. Do you know what I mean? Like, love is supposed to go over ick. When you are with the person and you declare you're gonna be with a person for the rest of your life, you do take on their embarrassment. Like, think about it. Like, you'll be married one day being like, yeah, that over there embarrassing me, that's who till we die, I'm gonna be embarrassed. That's what I signed up for. Well, the ceremonies are also short. Like, as much of the wedding day is about the couple, the actual ceremony is usually not that long. You know? And I've been to full-on, like, mass Catholic weddings where even the priest was like, okay. But there's just so many different things that could go off the rails, you know? There's that moment in a lot of weddings, especially when you do the traditional vows, traditional reading and everything, where they say, if anyone has cause, if anyone, it's different wording in different places, but if anyone knows why these two should not be wed, speak now or forever hold your peace. And most weddings I've been to, everybody at least look. I'm not saying they look because they don't believe in the couple. I think they look to see if there's drama is about to occur. You don't want somebody to stand up and then you got to turn around all late and stuff. You know, you just give it a quick little, just dignified, sophisticated, quick little I, okay, all right. You don't turn all the way around. A lot of weddings I've been to, people look. And there's also the officiant, you know, who marries the couple. A lot of times it's a friend, sometimes it's like especially if it's like a religious ceremony, it's your pastor, your priest, maybe someone whose church you've gone to for a long time. And that's very important to the couples that it's important to. I want this person to marry us, you know, and every once in a while, you can tell. I've been to a wedding or two. I went to a lot of weddings in my early 20s when a bunch of my friends were getting married. I was living in Chicago and stuff. And I would go to the wedding thinking like, wow, I'm over here by myself. They've already got life figured out. They picked their life partner already. We're like 22. This is wild, you know? And I remember one time I got off work. I got the one day off work, so I had to miss the rehearsal dinner. And so I took a bus the next day, and being like 20-something, I didn't think it through. And so I just was like, let me go ahead. I'm gonna barely make it to the wedding as is. Let me go ahead and be dressed on the bus. And so I get on the bus, and the bus's air conditioner is broken. And so I sweat for 3 hours to the wedding. But I lucked out because I get to the wedding, and it turns out at the rehearsal dinner, everybody got food poisoning. So I look about as bad as anybody else. We're all sweating. And the pastor officiating the wedding clearly was like the worst off, you know. Everybody clearly had like a little bit of an upset stomach and like, you know, sweat some of it out and everything. Some people looked a little green and stuff. But the pastor was fighting to get through this ceremony, and they want a ceremony at a church, and so he has to do a whole sermon that's attached to like getting them to the vows, right? And you can tell he's losing it. Because there's a point where he's sweating, and he's not a lot of preachers sweat, but they sweat after they preached. This man was sweating from the start, and he started clearly getting delirious because he was quoting Bible verses that are not in there. He's over here talking about like the 5th book of Corinthians, and I'm like, nah, dog. I think you seeing double. I think you seeing extra Roman numerals in that Bible. You need to sit down and deliver some of this sermon. That every once in a while you could tell he was like feeling himself like he was breaking it for a second. And he'd be like, because God. And then anytime he tried to get like real preacher with it, you could tell he was like, uh-oh. There's just so many things. Even the ceremony. Figuring out how to get people from the ceremony to the reception is sometimes a battle, especially if they're not in the same place. You know, I've been to a lot of beautiful weddings where they were in the same location. You just got to walk to like the other part of the building or right outside or wherever, and it all works. If you got to get people from one location to another, it can be treacherous. People can be lost. I don't drink, so I don't really deal with this particular aspect. I don't know in a wedding when people are supposed to get drunk. I just know they start getting drunk right after I do, and some of it I'm like, when did you drink? How? We just sat down to eat. How? And there's the dancing. The dance, one of my favorite things. Okay, I've been invited to a lot of my white friends' weddings, and what I love, one of my favorite things in the world, is the moment that you can tell they're about to break it down. The absolute moment that they have locked in, and I don't know if it's the liquor, the song, I don't know what it is, but they're like, I don't care who's looking, I don't care who I came here with, I'm about to express myself. Everywhere. And what I love about it is a thing that I noticed once again, in my 20s, going to some of my friends' weddings from back in Louisiana and stuff, there's a face. There's a face that a white dude makes right before he breaks it down. And I would be lying if I said it's not the identical face a white dude has before he says the most racist thing you've ever heard. And they are so exactly the same. It's that full upside down, that full like. This is the face that a white dude makes before he Dougies is the same face that was outside of every school that was getting integrated, all right? This is a face like no other. There is so much joy. When a white man makes this face, he's either about to do the worst thing possible or the best thing he's ever done. I am telling you, it is one of the most spectacular things you could ever watch, because it is coming from a place so pure. I don't know how many drinks it takes. Some people, it doesn't take a drink at all. Some people, that's just who that comes out. You know? Then you have the reception, you have the speeches, and the speeches can be tricky. Most weddings, best man gives a speech, maid of honor gives a speech, maybe the parents, you know, some family, he gives a speech. And I don't know, if you know you're gonna give a speech, because this is hard. Like a wedding speech is intimidating because it's like everything wrapped into one. Everything that scares people about public speaking wrapped into one thing. You have to be kind of funny, you have to be heartfelt, you have to be moving, you have to like really make people remember the speech, at least in your head. You gotta do all this in like a matter of a couple minutes because you don't want it to be too long, you know, and you don't want to bust out crying and not be able to continue, because then people will be like, what's going on? And so it's tough. I still remember, okay, it was a wedding where the best man, you know, got a little drunk, so already the speech is gonna tilt. It's not gonna be its best. And he used the best man speech to pretty much profess his love for the groom, right? And it's like, bruh, you are exactly one ceremony late. When they ask if anyone has any reason that these two should not be wed, it was kinda in case this happens. It was speak now or forever don't. Dude stand up there, so me and Chet are boys. I mean, we boys, we always been boys. Chet's boys. And then Alyssa came, Alyssa came along and ruined it. I've just been thinking about a lot of wedding stuff. I was reading the news and I saw Jeff Bezos got married to, I know. He's not here. But like, this is the thing. He got married in Venice, and it was supposed to be, I believe, at least at the city center, until everyone protested, and then they had to move it because, the people in Venice were like, why would we let you do this in our face? Like, if you do this, it will be in the water. And the people from Venice had a point. They were furious because they were like, first of all, the climate change, because they take climate change more seriously than some people believe. And they were like, they're flying here in the private jets and everything, like the environment, what are we gonna do? And then what is he leaving us with? He's talking about, I'm gonna spend so much money here. It's like, you don't even pay. They made a banner that said, if you can afford to rent Venice, you can afford to pay more taxes, right? And even more so than the sentiment of like the big banner was just that they used a really bad picture of him. And I don't know, I'm speaking as a sensitive person. If you got a bad enough picture of me, you really don't need to say anything else. Like, that's, you got me good. No, I'm gonna think about it all day. Because apparently he spent $50 million on the wedding. $50 million. How do you even get to 50 for a wedding? 3 days, 50 million. You gotta leave something for the divorce. You spent $50 million knowing you cheat. Oh, that's crazy. No, just say it. Thought you were a businessman. And I think a lot of people aren't even really upset about the wedding so much. There's obviously people that are annoyed by the tourism aspect. There are people who live in Venice. They're like, look, it's ruining our cities. Tourism is nice, it's good to make some money, but the way that people come here and what they turn our city into, it's like we're not a prop. You know, we're not a backdrop. We're real people that live here that get inconvenienced by the things that people do when they try to make our entire city about them. You know? And so they protested, and those protests at least worked to the degree that they weren't able to put on the wedding that they initially wanted to, which has made me really happy. I usually want everything to go well at a wedding when it comes to people that I know, maybe don't even know well, but there's just so much pressure that goes into it. I want that for them, and I've never wanted less of that for anyone than Jeff Bezos. Like, just the way that Jeff moves, I was just waiting. I just wanted so many things to go wrong. Just little things. They had to get on boats to get to other boats. They had to get on a little boat to get to the yacht. I'm like, just fall through the gap. Like, just... That would be nice if he fell through the gap. He's all... You know, and then pull him out of the water by his head so it's slippery, so it takes a while. You know what I mean? No, that would be fire, you know? Or if, like, the DJ played REM, you know? I just wanted one speech to just, like, ruin it, you know what I mean? Like, one speech to be like, as everybody, hey, it's me and Jeff are boys. Me and Jeff are boys, we've always been boys, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and then Lauren came and ruined it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, me and Jeff killed somebody together. Like, that's... They'll never find the body, dog. There's so many things that can go wrong. I hope something did. No. I know it's not nice, but neither is he. You know, it's like at a certain point, you know, you look at Jeff Bezos as this former CEO of Amazon, and you'll get people who are like, he's not even the CEO anymore. Why is everybody so upset? It's like he's still the executive chairman, and the way that Amazon was run while he was a CEO, it's just a continuation of that thing. You know what I mean? It's still working people to the bone and then chucking them out as soon as you have a robot or an AI that can take their place while pretending that that's better for all of us. And then the environmental, pledges that they make, kind of like skirting around them or dropping them entirely. It's just, it's one of those things where if nothing else, if we don't have anything else but a voice to protest him having a good day, then I think as many people as possible should do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's... And I've just never seen that before. I mean, I've known people who got married and knew that their in-laws didn't like them. I've never seen a protest. they say, speak now or forever hold your peace. And there's a whole group outside like, I have something to say. If anyone knows why these two should not be wed, speak now. I do. And I don't know. I mean, I look at Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez. I don't know them as people. And I don't, I don't know what their relationship is like. But I hope it's fraught. Like, I hope that it's... No, I hope that they argue a lot. And that when they argue, it gives Bezos a headache that is at least equal to like an Amazon worker who's had a box fall on their head. You know what I mean? Like, if there's just any source of balance in the universe, they will be as much of a headache to each other as they are an impact on the world. And I know that probably won't happen, but we can dream. You know what I mean? Like, I do wonder what their vows were like, genuinely. It's like, I promise to always have money. I don't know. Second wedding, too. You know, his first wife, Mackenzie, definitely, at least in the public sphere, like, won the divorce because people like her. You know what I mean? Like, she became a billion when her and Jeff split. She was like a billion, and then he was number one, and then he went to like 3, and then I think she was like 2. I don't know. I don't think that you are a bad person if you're a billionaire. Just probably, just more than likely, because the only ethical way to become a billionaire seems to be to divorce one. There was one time, once again, early 20s, and a bunch of my friends were getting married, and I had to go to 3 weddings in about 5 days. Yeah, and so luckily I could afford to take a train and then fly, take a train, everything. And I don't know, I was young, so I wasn't doing the best planning at all. And sure enough, it comes time for me to head out, and I am about to be late. I stuff everything into a suitcase, and I head there. I got one wedding suit because these friends don't know each other, so they're not gonna know. You know what I mean? I'm gonna show up looking sharp to each one. It's like, Josh, you really did? I'm like, yeah, I did. Go to the first wedding, phenomenal. It's very sweet. It's like intimate ceremony and everything. And next day, I get there early. Second wedding, beautiful, phenomenal, much bigger, right? And then I get down to the third wedding, and I realize that in my haste, not preparing, I didn't really pack well. I have my one suit. I've got some shirts that I can wear and everything. I'm trying to figure out a place to do laundry, and there's nowhere nearby. And my suit is clean because I'm not a dancer. So I haven't sweated out. You know what I mean? It's been a lot of nice to meet you. Yes. Take off the jacket immediately, make sure that doesn't get musty, change the dress shirt underneath, and sure enough, third wedding. The clothes I had were the last clothes. That literally the suit was the last clean thing that I had left. So I was like, all right, I'm coming in clutch, right? And go to the wedding, beautiful ceremony. And then we get to the reception, some speeches, very sweet. Only a little bit like, I just love you. And then it's time to dance, and I'm not really a dancer, but there was a guy, he was the uncle of the groom. He's trying to get everybody to dance because he is a true believer that it's bad luck if everybody doesn't dance at the wedding, even just a little jiggle. So he's getting people up. He's like pulling people to the dance floor. He pulls me. Now, I'm not a dancer, all right? I got a little bit of movement along the same plane. So you'll see me here, and then you'll see me here. And there might potentially be a snap in between. It will not be on beat. It'll be more emotive. But I'll be here, and I'll be here, and I'll be here, and I'll be here. And that was not enough for Uncle Willis, all right? Uncle Willis is over here. Come on, young blood, come on. This is what you gotta keep in mind when you cheer somebody on. Whenever you try to hype somebody up, be sure they can do whatever you're trying to get them to do. I can't stand when people try to act like this is the moment in the movie right now where you're gonna hit the beats you've never hit before. Come on, young bloods. I'm moving. And I don't know what to do because I'm not a dancer, and neither is he. You know, neither is he. Even him calling me young blood was like really weird. I don't know this guy at all, but he is like adamant that I can do more. And so he starts dancing with just me. And he's like, come on, get some rhythm into it, right? And I can tell he's too far gone for me to like not acquiesce because it's starting. It's like as he says, get some rhythm into it. And this man starts grabbing my hands to just violently move with his violence. And I'm staying at the one of the two, I'm just doing it faster. I'm like, all right, then I think that's... He's like, use your arms. I'm like, oh. And then this man grabs my hand and whips me around. This man spun me. Nah, dog. And he spun me when I was mid-stride. And so as he spun me, I rolled my ankle, right? And so I rolled my ankle, and it doesn't just hurt like I fell from standing up. It hurts a lot more. It's weird. It hurts so much. It hurts like I fell out of the sky. And so as soon as I fall, he sobers up almost immediately. He's like, oh no, young blood. I'm like, don't call me that. Where did you learn that? And then he helps me limp over to my seat at the table where I was eating, and I can feel my ankle swelling immediately.
And so I didn't even think about it. I just kicked off my shoe so I could check my foot. And because I was down to the last clothes that I had, because of the timing that the gift was given, I just popped off my shoe, and he saw an L on my left foot. And he didn't say anything, but I saw him see it. And none of the other groomsmen said anything. But for the rest of the reception, they were all very nice to me.
Mira.